I've just finished the anime and it is honestly amazing. As soon as I finished, I wanted to make an Edgerunner build in Cyberpunk 2077. There are so many cool weapons and cyberware and stuff shown in the anime, and it's like all in the game, which is really cool. So today we're going to go through all the weapons and cyberware from Edgerunners into Cyberpunk 2077 so you can become a real Edgerunner. Let's go. For clarity, I'm not going to cover every weapon that like all the random goons and stuff are actually using because we'd be here all day otherwise. And basically, every one of the original weapons from 2077 appears in Edgerunner to some capacity. Pretty much all of them are there. You can kind of see them in the background or just average weapons that people are using. But what we're going to cover is the iconic weapons that we see in the Edgerunners anime, as well as the cyberware that the main squad members are actually using. It's also worth noting that I'm going to do my best to avoid any spoilers here for any story beats or anything like that. There will be like some minor stuff because I'm going to tell you, the weapons and the cyberware that people are using, but like any story stuff is off limits. We will avoid that. It's just the cyberware and like equipment that they have, right? We'll start out with the main man himself, David Martinez. Now, the main cyberware piece that he uses is the Sandevistan. It's a big crux for the anime, and it's his main cyberware upgrade that he gets. The legendary Sandys are pretty common in the game. There's actually multiple of these, but I think the Quiant Sandevistan Mark IV is probably the closest to David's, as its cooldown is pretty short and it does have a high amount of percentage of time that it does slow. So it's probably what I would go for, and you could even drop that cooldown lower with like mods and stuff like that. Now, to get this cyber deck, you need to head towards Jig Jig Street and find the main man Fingers. Now, depending on a specific story mission, he may refuse to sell you anything, so you might have to go get one of the other ones. But this is the one that I would say is the most likely to be the one that David is, or close to the one that David is using in the anime. I covered it in my last video, but we'll just cover it again quickly because we're bringing everything together in this video. But David's jacket is in the game. You can get this by going to where David's apartment is, which is the Mega Building 4, and just next to it there'll be like that little green symbol and a BD you can click on. This will start like a very short side quest, and once you've completed that quest, it'll take you exactly to where you can get to pick up the yellow jacket so you can wear it. Next is his Sin Lungs, or Synth Lungs basically. These is the first like next upgrade that David gets, and what this does is it increases your stamina. It also increases David's stamina as well. You can get plenty of different versions of these, but the legendary version comes from a cyberware vendor in Haywood. Now, in the southwest area of Haywood in Wellsprings, there's a Ripper Doc down here, and he will sell you this cyber deck upgrade. Now, this guy also sells heaps of really quality cyberware upgrades. Like you can get the Mantis Blades from here as well, which we do see David use at one point. So you could pick up those there as well, or like the Grill Arms, the Monowire, all that stuff. We'll touch on them a little bit later anyway, but there's plenty of good stuff to have from this vendor, and you can pick up the Synth Lungs that David has. We do see David use a lot of other arm attachments other than the Mantis Blades in the anime, but we're going to touch on them with some of the other characters, so we'll go through their specific ones as we get to those, so they'll be later in the video. But I did want to mention that David's Lexington, he gets given a unique pistol, but I don't think there's actually a variant of this specific in the game. Like, it's a different color than the one that's in the game, but you can get a legendary Lexington pistol from the Aldecado's vendors, and now they move around depending on where you are in like Pan Am's quest, but if you go to wherever their camp is in their weapon vendor, you can actually get a legendary Lexington from them. But that's really like the main kind of weapon that he uses, other than the cyberware attachments and stuff that he has himself. Moving on to Lucy. Now, Lucy is our favorite Netrunner, or she's probably my favorite character in the anime, actually, thinking about it. Lucy and Kiwi both operate very similarly. They both have some kind of like Netrunner attachments, and they're using like quick hacks and breach protocols, that kind of thing. Now, the best option here is probably to go grab the Net Driver Mark V. It's probably the best like Netrunner attachment in the game, and it's assumedly like the closest we'll get to what they actually use. Now, you can pick this up in Haywood as well from that same Ripper Doc that we were just talking about. He also sells this there, so you can go there and grab that and then use all of those quick hacks. You will need to pick up the different mod attachments for these quick hacks, so if you want to do specific things, but you can go pick that up from them as well. And you can also, while you're there, pick up the Monowire from that same vendor. Now, Lucy's the only character in the anime that we see use the Monowire, and you can get the legendary variant from that same Haywood guy. I told you we're going to be returning this Haywood guy a lot, but you go there and you can pick up the Monowire and start smacking people around with the wire like you see Lucy do in the anime. The Monowire is a really powerful weapon, and it's super cool to use if you actually do buff it in terms of your perks and everything. Moving on to Rebecca. There's a couple of things with Rebecca, Rebecca, but it mostly revolves around weapons, as everything with her does. Now, she does have a unique shotgun guts, which is in the game, and at the top of the Corpo Plaza, if you face towards the Arasaka Tower in a specific spot, you'll see the monks there. You just move to the left into those bushes there, and you'll find her guts shotgun there. This shotgun is super powerful. It's a power shotgun that is absolutely well worth using for any power or shotgun builds. Fun fact that I learned from the comments in my previous video, so thank you guys who pointed this out, is that you can actually stop fall damage by shooting the ground as you're just about to land because of the impact, like recoil of this weapon. It'll prevent fall damage. Really cool benefit. I don't know if it's a bug, they might remove it, but it's very cool. Rebecca also uses the Lizzie Tech Pistol, and she points it at a particular individual in one of the earlier episodes. This is a easy weapon to go pick up in like the very beginning of the game. In that initial quest where you meet Judy, the automatic love, or like just any time after that point in Lizzie's bar, you can go and pick this up. It used to be sitting on a table like right near the entrance to Judy's room, but you actually have to go right and past the server room. There's like a little back room here, and it's on the table in there now. They did change it a couple of patches ago, but you can go pick up Lizzie's weapon there. Now, Rebecca uses all kinds of other just random weapons, but they're not like iconic weapons, so I won't really cover them, but they're just like SMGs and, you know, power weapons and assault rifles that she uses, but she has plenty of options she uses. Our main is next. Now, he is primarily probably known for those giant gorilla arms. Now, you can get those gorilla arms sideware from that same Ripper Doc in the Wellsprings in Haywood. He sells you them, as well as the projectile launch system, and we also see Main as well as David in the anime as well use both of these attachments at various points, and you can get both of them from that same Ripper Doc in Haywood. Now, because they're both arm attachments, you can't have both like on you at the same time. You have to pick one or the other, which unfortunately in the anime they don't have that same limitation, so they can have both, whereas here you could either have gorilla arms or the projectile launch system. Now, I would honestly go the launch system if you're trying to make a main build and using like the shotguns that we'll talk about shortly, because you're not really going to be getting up close and personal with the gorilla arms if you're using those shotguns and that kind of build, because then you can like combo the launcher with the shotguns and like combine them together, but that is up to you. You could go either route. Now, we do see Main use two different shotguns in the game. The first is the Crusher, which is just a power shotgun. You can get a legendary version of this from the Gunzorama store in the Rancho Corrado area of the map. You can go in there and pick that up. The main weapon that he uses is the Bei Xing Chong Smart Shotgun. This is a rare crafting spec that you have to get from Adam Smasher's room and then craft it yourself. Now, this room of Adam Smasher's is on the like dock ship that's there, and this only becomes available after the chip and in quest or during that quest, but I don't know what the door code is. I googled it and I couldn't find it. It seems that this door only unlocks after you have completed the main story, and then like when you go back into the, or when you're dropped back into the world, you'll be able to go into that room and get the smart shotgun. If you know what the code is to actually open this door before that point, then do put it down in the comments, and you know, if you're just watching this video, go and check to see if it is there. I couldn't find anything online, but it does allow you to like actually enter a code before that point. You could try and enter a code, but then after you've done the story, the door's just like open for you. So depends on where you're at in the terms of the story, but that's the main thing. So that is the 4 main Edge Runners and their general kit in the Edge Runners anime. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the anime, as well as if you'd like me to do like specific builds for any of these. I'm really interested to maybe make some actual builds in Cyberpunk 2077. Thank you for watching this video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is Norza, and I hope you have a great day.